Hi everyone, my name is Carly Bell and I love to do machine embroidery tutorials. And today I'm very excited to be continuing on our sew along journey for the Kimberbell Candy Corn Quilt Shop featured quilt. We are in the home stretch, guys. We are almost done. I'm very excited. And we have a large and fun block to do today. So today we are going to be working on the fabric shelves. This, I believe, is class 8 of our series that we've been doing. So if you are new here, welcome. We're excited you're here. And you can get all of the info for this sew along in the first link down below this video. It's going to take you to my website, carlybell.com. And I have a homepage dedicated to this sew along that's going to give you all of the info that you need to know as far as where I got these designs and my supplies and quilting and batting and all those types of things, along with all of the videos from this sew along series, including step 1, which just tells you about it and how to prepare for it and get your fabric in order and organized, because there are, I want to say, 40 blocks in this quilt, so it's a lot. But I think we've been doing great. I feel very accomplished. I am still behind on my homework, but that's okay. And today, good news, there is no homework, so I can definitely play catch up after today. So let me check the chat real quick. Good morning, Dee and Christine and Rosalind. I'm so glad that y'all could join me. But yeah, so I hope everyone's doing good. I hope for those of y'all that have been doing this with me in real time, that these blocks, you're able to get through them and these video tutorials are helping you. If you're still waiting for supplies to come in, no worries. You have all the time in the world to do this. All of these tutorials are recorded and will be always available on my YouTube channel and on the homepage for the sew along on my website, carlybell.com. So don't feel like you're being left out. You always can come back to it and participate whenever you are ready. While you're on my website for the page for this sew along, don't forget to go grab your free download organizational chart. This lists all the blocks in the quilt, the sizes, the background quilting designs, the cut sizes, background fabric, embellishments, thread color, like all the info you need at a glance as you're doing each block. So this has been kind of like my cheat sheet. Every week when we're working on a new block, I can refer to this and be like, okay, this is what I need. And I have it all here. So this is a free download on my website. Don't forget to go and grab it. All right, as I mentioned, today we are going to be working on the fabric shelves. Now, there are 2 larger blocks in this quilt. This whole quilt is supposed to be 5x7 friendly. That means you should be able to make this entire quilt, even if your hoop size, the largest one you have, is 5x7. Okay. Now, there are 2 blocks that are larger, and Kimberbell gives you a split design option. So they've already split the design for you. You don't even have to do that in Embroiance, which is very helpful because it is hard to split applique designs with Embroiance Essentials. If you've ever seen any of my PE 800 5x12 hoop videos, I usually tend to stick to thread, or if there's an applique element, it's all on one or the other side. There's no splitting happening in the middle. But Kimberbell has already taken care of this for you. So for the block we're going to do today, and the last block that I think we're going to do next week, the quilt shop, next Tuesday. Yeah, so a week from today. Those are the 2 larger blocks. Today, I'm going to show you how to fit this fabric bookshelf in a 6x10 hoop. Even though technically it's a little bit bigger, we're going to make it fit. And it's very simple to do this one in a 6x10 hoop. However, the quilt shop for next week, that is an 8x10 block. And we are going to do that with the split method that Kimberbell provides. So if your largest hoop is 5x7, wait for next week's video and watch how I split the quilt shop. And I'll show you a little bit of the fabric bookshelf today. But you'll see the actual process next week where we're really going to split it into 2 5x7 hoopings. So I just wanted to make that known for all our friends that maybe have a smaller machine and are making this quilt on it. There are several methods. Now, for our friends that have larger machines and larger hoops, you can just bust out your biggest hoop. Like if you have a Stellaire like I do, you can use the 9, let's see, today you would need the 9.5 by 14 for the fabric bookshelf and make it as normal. And you would need the 9.5 by 14 hoop next week for the quilt shop, and you would make it as normal. You wouldn't have to split it. So that way, hopefully between these two classes, it accommodates everybody as far as splitting or not splitting, depending on hoop size. So I hope that helps. So today we're not splitting, but we're going to make it fit in a 6 by 10 hoop, even though technically we should be doing it in a bigger one. And it's very, very simple. Y'all have seen me do this already, where I'm basically just skipping the basting stitch, because that's what makes it a little bit bigger. Even though this is 6 by 10 block, it should fit in my 6 by 10 hoop. The background quilting is a 1/2 inch bigger. So that's what makes it go outside of this hoop. All right, so let's go ahead and grab our supplies for today. We are only making the fabric bookshelf today. But like I said, while it's stitching, I'll go over the 2 hoop method so you can see what the design looks like if you're splitting it. And then next week you'll see me actually do the process. Hi, Elsa and Becky and Sherry and Debbie. Thank y'all for coming. Okay, so grab your envelope for the fabric bookshelf. There are going to be some pieces of fabric in here that we're not going to actually mess with today. They are part of the embellishment kit. But I'm going to keep them in my envelope, so when I'm ready to do embellishments, they're there. I got my cheat sheet opened up to page 9, where my fabric shelves are, and tells me all the info. I got my book, and according to my cheat sheet, we're looking at page 18 is the instructions for this block, like the step-by-step instructions are here for you. And I got all my thread colors by my machine already. We'll go through them as we stitch it out, and then when we get to the end, I need to get out one of my larger orange pop rulers I don't have in my basket ready to go. Then, like I said, we're going to be using the 6 by 10 hoop. And if you've seen any of my other quilting tutorials, instead of using poly mesh no-show stabilizer, I am using lightweight muslin cotton. This is what I've been using for all my quilting projects, and I think it works great and saves a lot of money. All right. Okay, so let's first jump into Embrilliance. I've already set it all up, but I'm going to start over from the beginning so that y'all can see it. And we're going to create this block with the background quilting first, and then the block going on top. And let me open up my software and make it to where y'all can see it. Oh, wait. 1 second. I made it way too wide. I can't even see my whole screen. Little bit smaller. Okay, now I'm ready. All right, I'm going to show you my computer. I won't be able to see the comments while I'm showing you, but I will go back and check them when I'm done. So let's back up. So y'all should be seeing my computer screen with Embrilliance opened up. And this is what we're making. We're making the fabric bookshelf, but you see the pretty Halloween quilting design. That's what we're going to add behind it. So let's start from scratch. Let's go to my embroidery designs. I have a whole folder for Kimberbell, and I have a folder dedicated just to this quilt. And in here, I have it says quilt designs. These are the applique designs. These are the background quilting designs. So I'm going to open this. According to my cheat sheet, I need Halloween 3 in size 6 by 10, and I think horizontal, because this one comes in horizontal and vertical. So this is the background quilting design that I need. So Halloween 3 embroidery files, block by block. Pick your format of choice, 6 by 10. That one's horizontal. So I'm going to double click this and it's going to open in Embroiance. I currently have my 6x10 hoop open on my screen. I can see it down here by hoop. And notice just after opening up this background quilting design, my design is 6.5 by 10.5 because I remember I told you that basting stitch adds an extra 1/2 inch to your overall size of the design. And that makes it not fit in a 6x10 hoop. And this is why it's highlighted red. Now, previously, you've seen me do some designs where the height of the design fit in the hoop fine, but maybe the width of the design was a little too wide for this hoop. And I just adjusted, y'all can see, I just adjusted and pulled it in. For this one, all 4 sides are out. And to me, I think it would just be easier to delete that step altogether. So literally all I'm going to keep is the placement stitch for my batting, this first step. The tack down for my batting I'm going to delete because I made my batting cut to size. I never do the placement for the background fabric because I think it's not necessary. Now this is the tack down or the basting stitch for the background fabric. I'm going to go ahead and delete that one too. So just skip it all together. And now look, it fits in my 6x10 hoop. And I'm not altering the size of anything. I'm just deleting that basting stitch. I think we can get by without it just fine. So I have that ready. Now I just need to pull the fabric book, the shelf applique design on top. So I'm going to back up until I get to the beginning of my folder for this quilt and now go to the quilt designs. This is where you can find the double hooping. I'm going to show you all of this while we have stitching going on because I think we have a lot of satin stitching in this design and so it'll take some time. All right, let's go to the shop. Okay, and right here is the fabric shelves, and then this is the other quilt shop design that's really big. This one's 8x12. So we're going to grab this and I'm going to merge it with my background quilting. I could either do this by dragging and dropping, or you could also merge from your software itself where it says merge a stitch file, and it's basically going to pull up all your files and folders and you just navigate to where your design is. And then once you have it highlighted, you click import and it will do the same thing. I just like to drag and drop. It's easy to me. Okay, so this is ready to send to our machine now. I've already adjusted my background quilting so that it fits in my hoop just by deleting steps. And then I'm not altering anything about the fabric bookshelf part. We got 2 big pieces of applique, the background of the shelf, and then like the inner parts of the shelves. And then everything else is thread. And then we'll add some really cute embellishments on top in these big open spaces here and here. That looks like little mini bolts of fabric. So it's going to be super cute. So now we would just go to File, Save Stitch File As, navigate to wherever your USB stick is, name it, make sure it's the format of your machine. Or if you have a wireless machine, you can go to Utility, Wi-Fi to Brother, or Baby Lock, name your design and hit OK. I've already saved it to the USB and I have it plugged in my machine. So we are going to head over there now. Let me check the comments. Nothing, no questions about Embroiance. If you have any, just type them in and I'll answer them for you. Okay, so let's get everything ready. Y'all would be so proud of me. I cleaned off my craft table. Now, y'all are seeing a very small portion of it. Let's see if I can back this camera up. Still seeing a small portion of it, but I have this large table. Usually, oops, this space right here is literally the only part that is clean. And I have stuff all over it normally. But I got this handy new thing, if you see where my hand is now. Usually I have boxes stacked right here with my computer, laptop, like sitting on top. I got this nifty new stand that attaches to a pole. So now I have all of this space where I used to have boxes stacked up that I can have my tools and my supplies. So I got them out of the way. I have lots of room. I cleaned. It's very nice. Okay, so here is the 6x10 hoop. This is my lightweight muslin, and I am just going to lay it over the bottom hoop. And snap the top hoop back in, like so. So now this is ready to go to the machine. And then my envelope with, this is, I think, the major background fabric. This is the shelf, and then this is the inner part of the shelves. All these little squares after are what we're going to make our little mini fabric bolts out of. So we're only going to use these 3 fabrics here, and then I also have the batting cut to size there. And then I have glue and all the thread already at the machine. So let's head over there. And I turned the machine on. Did I finish? Okay. So I'm going to hit embroidery, my USB stick, and I see my fabric shelf right here. And hit OK and set. All right, I have a bobbin in there, and my needle's not threaded. I'm just going to go ahead and use white thread I have already on top of my machine, and I'm pretty sure the background quilting for this design is white, so that will work well. All right, just make sure all this, I like to do my stabilizer piece in like a long strip so that I just keep rehooping and move my way down. So I just make sure all my excess stuff is out the way. We're going to lower the presser foot. I have to finish loading up the design. Okay, it's there. I'm not editing anything, so I just hit go, embroidery. Now it's ready, and the first step is going to be a placement stitch for the batting. I'll get my batting out and my background fabric. And I'm going to get my glue stick ready, because that's how I attach make sure my batting doesn't move. Oops. Knocking stuff off. Okay, so that is done. Let's go to the craft table, because this is a very large space, and I usually just put my hoop right here on the flatbed part of my machine, but I need a little more room with this one since it's so big. So I have my placement stitch for my batting, and I'm just going to use my glue stick. Ooh, and I had some good news to tell y'all. If you want to continue shopping with me at Kimberbell, last week I ordered, I got some good stuff I could show y'all while things are stitching. I ordered the Quilting Through the Seasons ladder quilt, and I have plans for that to be probably our first sew along in 2026. But I've already had plans for our next sew along once this is done. If you like doing this kind of stuff with me, I wanted to do a Christmas bench pillow, and it also has candy in the title. It's called Candy Cane Lane, and I've been obsessed with this pillow for years, and I bought it over the summer. Someone told me that my girlfriend's quilt shop had a sale over the summer for the designs and the embellishment kit. Well, if you missed that sale, Kimberbell is having a sale this week. They didn't have the embellishment kit though. They only had the designs and the background quilting, which I didn't buy the background quilting yet, so I'm gonna grab that this week. But I'll show you when this starts stitching. Okay, so I put my glue in my placement stitch. I put my batting perfectly on top. Now, you know what I'm gonna do? Now, normally I would just put this right on top and do the basting stitch. Since I'm not doing the basting stitch, I believe I will go ahead and add some spray adhesive to the back of this. I made myself kind of like a spray tint. Let me grab it real quick if I can get to it. Where did I put it? Here it is. It's just a cardboard box, and I covered it with a grocery bag to kind of keep things from spraying everywhere. I'm going to lay that in my box. And spray. So now all this side has been sprayed, and flip it over and you just kind of center it right over your batting. It doesn't have to be perfect. And now I'm going to press that into my batting. So because we're not doing a basting stitch, this isn't really going to move or shift too much when it's doing the quilting. Okay, so that's ready to go. Let me pick this up. And while I'm here, let me grab my Quilting Through the Seasons stuff so I can show you that when it's stitching. Because I got a fabric kit too. It all came in the mail last week. So now we have all of that ready. The next step is the background quilting, and we're going to do that in white thread. So let's go back to the machine. My mouse will work. There we go. All right, if you are doing this in your bigger hoop, you can still, like if you're doing it in the 9.5 by 14 hoop, this is when you would put on your water soluble thread and do your basting stitch. But like I said, since we're doing this in a smaller hoop and kind of making it work, I skipped that. We're going straight to the background quilting, wet that stitch. Okay, so that's going to take about 5 minutes. While that is stitching, let me show you how pretty Quilting Through the Seasons is. And it's so, the book is so big. So I have not really looked to see how many blocks are on there. I think it's a lot of embellishment stuff. So this is the fabric kit. I ordered this on Etsy. These 3 things I got straight from Kimberbell, and the quilting. This was all on sale last week. I told y'all about it. But look at this book. Look how thick it is. Look at it compared to like the Halloween book. Like it's just, you know, stapled in the middle. This one has to be, it was bound. Like look how much thicker that is. So on the front shows you the quilt with the very basic what we're going to make, and then like everything else is embellishment. So if you look, like there's no flowers on the wreath, there's no little bits and bobs here, there's stuff missing here, they have buttons here for you to button on things. Like it's very plain. And then what happens is there are designs for each season, and all of those designs get put onto the quilt after, as that season, as you're ready for that season. So like here's what it looks like with, I guess, the spring. Oh no, summer. This is summer. So you see now they have flowers there. They have things in these frames. They have a little banner here. They have these flowers coming out the base. They have these two little mini quilts buttoned here. So it's super cute. And let's see. Say just the quilt itself. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 blocks. But the seasonal embellishments are a lot more. So this one's probably going to take us like 4 months to make. And the fabrics. Now, you could use what you have in your stash already. It's a lot of basics. It's grays, blacks, tans, browns, creams, pinks, yellows, greens, blues, purples. Like it's a rainbow. You could find things, but I just want you to know that there are 57 fabrics in this pattern. So that is why I bought the fabric kit. I found it on Etsy. I want to say it was like the best price I found was like $114. I saw some places for like $150. And I believe this one also came with the backing, and it comes with all of the Kimberbell fabrics that were used originally in this project. And they have some really pretty ones, lots of basics, but lots of pretties. And just to make life easier, I bought the fabric kit because something I've learned about myself is I do not complete things if I don't have the fabric kit. And then we have the embellishments that goes over all of that. And then it jumps into all the regular blocks in the main quilt, which probably won't take us long to make. And then it's the embellishment bits. So look, already right there is finishing the quilt. That's putting it together. Boom. You are done just with those few pages. That's like the size of a normal book. This is all the embellishments. Because if they have 2 little mini quilts on the front, so that means that's 8 little mini quilts we'll make that are interchangeable. 4 little banners. So look how cute. So those are the 4. Flowers. Oh, these are fun. They're on Mylar, but they're also like freestanding lace. That's pretty. They have these little frames that are interchangeable. Those are cute. Oh, look how cute. A bunch of little frames. And then, I don't know if I passed them up yet. We got bows. And then we got big, like, felt flowers. Those are going to go on the base after. Look how cute. All kinds of cute. So a lot of in the hoop. So look, here we go. They got 4 different bicycle bouquets to go in their baskets. 4 different wreath styles. I like the lemons for the summer. That's cute. Pumpkins for the fall. That's the wreath. And then the big vase has different flowers for each season. The little kind of portrait wall has different pictures for each of the frames. And then there's 4 little banners. And then there's 4 big mini quilts and 4 little mini quilts. Those get buttoned on. That's a lot. It's going to take us a while. So that's what was on sale last week for Kimberbell's Deal of the Week. And I just wanted to show you that it came in. This is the embellishment kit. It's going to have everything you need to do all those little embellishments I showed you. For all the, like, the felt for the flowers and the banners and the frames, all of that stuff. And then I also got this because with Kimberbell, if you spend $100, you get free shipping. And this bag was only $2, and that made my total like at $100 and some change, or like $101. So I got this too. And then this was separate. I bought on Etsy. So how many of y'all ordered it too? Let's see. Becky ordered it on Friday and got it yesterday. Yay! Very impressed with their shipping speed. Yes. I will show you where I got the fabric from, and let's see if they have another one. Yes, and that's another thing that Loretta makes a great point. If we get overwhelmed with making this quilt, so like say we make it in January, February, going into March, we could just go ahead and make the spring embellishments, and then right before we get to summer, we can make this and then be done if we want to move on to something else, and then wait till right before summer to make the summer embellishments, and fall and winter and so on. So we don't have to make them all at one time if we get overwhelmed. That's a great tip. Okay, let me put that on the side. We are done with the background quilting. So the next step now is placement stitch for the large overall bookshelf. And I'm just going to keep white on. And y'all won't be able to see it too great, but just trust me, I'm going to put the fabric in the right spot. And then that's my background. That's my fabric for the shelf. Is this black. And then there's another applique on top of that, which is the gray. And these steps of the placement and the tack down can be done with any color thread. So for me, I want to change my thread color as the least amount of times as possible. So I'm just going to do everything in white until I get to the real first step, which I can't always judge by my machine because my machine sometimes changes colors of things when I put it on there. Like it told me to do the background quilting in black. So it's kind of wonky like that. Trying to remember what page was the instructions on. Here we go. The instruction book will really make sure I do the right color threads. Okay, so that, like I said, hard for y'all to see, but I see the background for the whole shelf. I am putting my black fabric that's already got my Pell on SF101 right on top of that placement stitch. I got more than enough room to make sure I got space on all around the placement stitch. And we're going to load that and stitch, and that's going to be my tack down. And then, oh, are you okay? You sounded weird. Let me pause it and look underneath. Yeah, it just had a little nest right when it started. It looked like it worked its way through. Okay. Back up a little bit so y'all can see. And remember, when you're working with your larger hoops, you want to make sure you have your machine pulled out. So like when my hoop is going all the way back here, it's not going to hit my wall or my window, whatever the case may be, when it's moving back and forth. So like when this is the 6x10 hoop. When I'm doing the 9.5x14 hoop, I tend to pull my machine up right to the edge of my table to make sure my hoop has more than enough room to move around and I don't have anything blocking. I see a box right here. Should probably move that in case my arm goes over in that corner, it doesn't hit it. Okay. Now, normally I would take this off and trim it before I move on to the next step. However, the step next is to do some applique pieces right on top of the black where trimming the black does not interfere with it. So I'm just going to keep rolling and do the placement stitch for the gray, which is the inner shelves. And then when it's done, we'll go and trim everything at once. Okay, it looks like the first real color we're going to stitch is this like tanny brown color after we're done with the applique. So I'm going to put that on my tripod stand. I probably could have got away with not even stitching the placement stitch for these because this gray piece just fits inside the whole shelf. But we're going to let it stitch. It's fine. But I always look at things like that. What can I skip? How could I make this go faster? So that was the placement stitch for the inner bits. And now we'll just put the gray right on top of that. Make sure everything's covering. And now it will tack that down and repeat that same stitch over again. And when that's done, we'll take everything off and trim it. Usually everything's nice and flat where I don't need to worry about like bubbles, anything puffing up. But if you are, you could just use a stiletto and kind of just smooth things out. Okay. Oh, yay. Okay, Linda, you said you just got the background bundle on sale with the code. It came up when you were looking. Which background bundle, for Quilting Through the Seasons or for Candy Cane Lane? Okay. Yay. Debbie ordered her Quilting Through the Seasons last Friday. All right. So I think I still have to figure things out, but we are going to be done with this project the week of Halloween, the last week of October. And I can't believe tomorrow's already October 1st. It's like September flew by. I am right now planning my, oh, good. She got the Candy Corn Quilt Shoppe background. Awesome. What was I saying? Oh, I am right this week. I am planning everything for my Sip and Stitch holiday workshop that I put on every year. And so I'm trying to get all that finalized, and then I'll start planning the next sew along, which will be the Candy Cane Lane bench pillow that is on sale this week if you don't already have that one and want to go grab it. All right, so we have our 2 pieces of applique. And first, trim the gray. And this is all going to get covered up with a satin stitch, so you want to just trim as close to that stitch line as possible. Okay. That's the outer gray, and then this is a little tight. This will be when you have tiny scissors like me that it will be helpful to get in these tight spaces in between these blocks. Okay, so that is the gray inside the shelves, and now we'll trim the black for the frame of the shelf. And these designs, because all of these are going to have a satin stitch border covering the raw edge, if you have a cutting machine like a Scan and Cut, Cricut, or Silhouette, your embroidery designs also came with SVG files or cut files for all of these appliques. So you could pre-cut these if you wanted to. If you don't like to do all this trimming. Okay, so we now have the bookshelf all trimmed out. I got a lot of little fuzzies happening. So I'm gonna just take my little lint ruler and pull all that up so it doesn't get stuck behind some stitches later. And now the rest of the design is just going to be changing thread colors. And it's going to go put in little details of a spider and books and cobwebs and little things. And it's going to cover the raw edge of all these appliques. All right. So the first real color we're going to see is like a tan wood color that is actually like some wood accents at the bottom of the shelves. So I am adding that color now. And then after that, there is a lot of black. So I'll start stitching those wood shelf accents, and I will get my black thread on my spool and ready for the next step. So this takes, wow, this is a long thing. And I have the speed turned up all the way, I'm pretty sure. This will take 7 minutes. The black outline is 30 minutes of stitching. I did not realize it was going to take that long. So while that is stitching, we'll go over the double hooping method. I'm going to have to open up the quilt shop. That one's probably going to take a long time to stitch too. I don't really know how long the stitching will take until I get to the machine and it actually tells me the estimated time. I don't remember slowing down my machines or anything, so it should be at full speed. But let me check it. I'm gonna hit pause. Pause right there. I'm gonna go to my embroidery settings. Yeah, max embroidery speed. It's set at 1050. So I got it on max speed. And go. So we're just gonna wait. Any questions while this step is stitching? Let me know. Hi, Diane from Chicago. Hey, Karen. Okay, so she said she saw in one of my videos that I have a class with Embroidery Stitch Artist info, and you need that info. Okay, yes, I do have classes on how to use Embroidery Stitch Artist. I have not made a full course on it yet. It's something that I do in my VIP membership group. So let's see. If you go to my website, I think I have a link for it down below, but say you just go to carlybell.com. And I think when you scroll, there's a section on my membership right here. So Sip and Stitch Squad VIP members group. This is a monthly membership group that I have, and it includes Stitch Artist training videos, and it's only $9 a month. I do plan on increasing this price next month. So if this is something you're interested in and you want to get it at the lower price, anyone that gets it at the lower price or has been in the group, they're going to keep their lower price. It only will be new people signing up from that point on that it'll be a little more expensive. And so once you become a member, always at the top of my website, there is a login for students and VIP members. And I always save my stuff on my computer so I could log in. And in the membership, this is your dashboard. So if you own some of the old holiday workshops or any of my courses, this will be in your dashboard. Anything that you own will be colored. Anything that you don't own will be like grayed out. So this is the membership group. And with it, we do a new Zoom class every month. And I give a embroidery design every month. So when you become a member, you get access to this library that now has over 54 tutorials since May of 2021. And so these are all classes. Now, once in a while, I do digitizing classes as our class of the month. So this class was how to digitize fonts and Stitch Artist. And we go over, you can see here, like this is all the things that we go over in the class, and ways to digitize it like a satin stitch or digitize it like a sketch stitch. And this was I think you can also download those designs. So there are several months. Now, if you want to just go and see the ones that are just for Stitch Artists, this is all the classes. I'm putting all of the digitizing classes in this section. So we have, I think, 10 lessons here over the years where we go over either things from certain levels, like level 1, level 2. Sometimes I just teach you how to do stuff, and while we're in there, I'll tell you, if you only have level 1, you could do it this way. If you have level 2 or level 3, you can, make life a little easier by doing it another way. So you can see all those digitizing lessons there. And we were also doing something to where you could submit a picture or a logo, like something like, I have this, like, where do I even start? I know, because that's how I felt. Like, where do you even start? How do you even begin to turn a picture into an embroidery design? And so you could submit it. And I did classes where we took the design that someone submitted and went over how I would approach digitizing it. So that is something in the membership group. I need to bring that back, though, with submitting pictures and digitizing it. And then every month, members get a free embroidery design. So you can go download this and stitch it out. So these are all things that we made over the years. But that's the membership group. Like I said, you can find it on my website. Just scroll down until you see the Sip and Stitch Squad VIP members group, and that will take you to the page to sign up. While we're here, let's go look at Kimberbell's website. This is Kimberbell. Click on Deal of the Week. This is Candy Cane Lane. This is what I want to do in like November, December for our next sew along. So how cute is that? So cute. I love this. It's adorable. I think for this one, I won't go try to find a fabric kit because I have a kind of grayish fabric that will work perfect for this background kit, background fabric. I have that already. I got it from Walmart. It's a simple gray fabric with like white, almost looks like snow falling on it. It's really pretty. I think it'll work perfect for this project. And then I just need like browns and reds and greens, a couple blues. I think I could pull from my scrap. And then I do have cute Christmas fabrics that I can make the borders with. So I think for this one, this is small enough to where it's not as overwhelming to where I can go and pull from my own fabric stash, especially if you have something for the background fabric, because it's all the same for all those blocks. I think I can do this without stressing myself out too much. But if you want to go grab this while it's on sale, this one's a digital download, so they're not going to mail you the book, but they're going to, you can instantly download the PDF of it. So like even though I have the book for Candy Cane Lane, not Candy Corn Quilt Shoppe, I have the PDF too, and I'm always looking at it on my computer. It's the same exact thing as the printed book, but it's just where I could view it on my computer. So let's go back to the thing. So we're done stitching the brown accent for the shelves, and now we will stitch 30 minutes of black satin stitching, covering everything up. Okay. And let that go. Make sure everything's out the way. Oh, actually, no. 1 minute. It's going to do a spider first. So I'll wait here while it's doing the spider. You could do the spider in dark gray if you wanted to. I just keep everything black. Done the spider. Now I have to hit the start button again because this is a separate step. And that is 30 minutes of satin outline on the bookshelf. Ooh, I'm gonna need a snack while we're waiting for that. Okay, let's go look at comments. All right. Oh, Angela, I feel you on this. The trimming is therapeutic for me. I agree. I enjoy trimming. Now, granted, I didn't like trimming when I first started, but yeah, I agree with you. I enjoy it. And for me, it's like I am, what's the word? Impatient, where I'm like, by the time I get everything ready to pre-cut my fabric, my appliques on a cutting machine, I could have already stitched it out and trimmed it myself. So I save the idea of doing that for like if it's super intricate, curvy cutting that has all kind of tight spaces, then I'll consider pulling out my machine and pre-cutting my appliques. All right, so let me finish showing y'all Candy Cane Lane. Oops, this one. Okay, so Kimberbell's website, deal of the week. I have a referral link to Kimberbell on the sew along page here. You scroll down to Gather Supplies. This is my referral link that will bring you right here. And you can grab the download of the design, and you can also get the background quilting, which is only 2 pieces. Like each of the quilt blocks have the same peppermint background quilting, and then the borders have those flourishes that you see in gray right there. So I will go and grab that while it's on sale because I don't have that. But they don't have the embellishment kit on sale. So let's go do maybe a quick search on Etsy and see Candy Cane Lane in embellish. Did I spell that right? I probably spelled it very wrong. There we go. It still knows what I'm trying to say. All right. Oh, they do have a fabric kit if you like to use the fabrics. They do have a thread kit if you like to buy the thread, but I don't know if they have. Here we go. Embellishment kit sold out. Okay, not that one. This is the same shop. Shop Sew Me. This is where I bought my fabric kit for quilting through the seasons. Calico Cat Sewing. They have. This is the fabric kit. Oh, it's only $44, $45. That's not bad. They have the fabric kit. I need the embellishment kit. I want to say someone told me this was a little bit harder to find. There's our embellishment kit for this quilt. Okay, let's look at my girl friend's quilt shop. I think that's where I bought mine from. There we go. Embellishment kit. They got it there. Yeah. Okay. So it's a little expensive. $40. Oh, it's not available. So go and click this and notify. So I will let y'all know if I see it anywhere else, or if you see it, post it in our my general Facebook group that I have for all of our machine embroidery enthusiasts. Go, if you see a quilt shop, an online shop that's selling the Candy Cane Lane embellishment kit, please tell us in the Facebook group and post a link to it so we can share it with everyone. But yeah, so what I'm seeing so far is it's sold out. So that sucks. And I'm looking at it. The only real thing that I think makes it is the little buttons. So everything else is probably stuff you could find in your craft room that you have already, like the cork and the little ribbon. I think they got some specialty things in there that you might already have. It's really the buttons is the only bit that you need, but we can make it work without it. We can find other cute little Christmas buttons that we can replace it with. So it wouldn't be the end of the world. Let's see. Okay, Loretta said, so changing of the seasons is not on deal of the week anymore, but she ordered it and a coupon code was applied. So she got it. Yay. Love coupon codes. All right. Sherry said on Kimberbell's video yesterday, she suggested going to your craft shops like Hobby and Lobby and start looking for buttons and things for embellishment kits that they don't make anymore. That's a great idea. Yeah, I think we could find some very cute substitutions at Hobby Lobby You can just go like to my girlfriend's quilt shop and just look at the picture of the embellishment kit and get a sense of like what's in it. Or when you get the PDF download, it will show you what's in the embellishment kit. And then you kind of have a little shopping list to go to the store with. But most of the time, what's in there is like, for that one, it looks like it's definitely cork. There might be mylar in there. There's some little pieces of velvet ribbon. There's fairy lights. That's easy to find. We can find fairy lights. There might be some glitter HTV. That's easy to find. Sometimes they have like felt or like velvety type fabrics. Those are easy to find. The only thing that would be actually special is the buttons. And these are pretty basic Christmas buttons. So I think we could find at least some substitutions. Like we definitely, I'm sure if we looked hard, we can find little snowflake buttons. They have a little snowman, a little penguin, and then like little cups of coffee. I'm sure we can find some cute things to go with that instead. Let's see. Kathy said she was a member for a long time and got away from embroidery and canceled. Now that she's feeling better and back into it. I'm glad you're feeling better, Karen. Do I know a good digitizer? Yes. Usually when anyone asks me for a digitizer recommendation, I send them to a guy named Sebastian Molina. He owns a company called AB, the letters AB Digitizing. I think he has his own website. Let me pull it up. He's got his own Facebook page and his own website. But if you just Google AB Digitizing, here, so like I Googled AB Digitizing. This is his website right here. And he has a Facebook page. You can message him on Facebook, or you might be able to see they have a contact form on his website. But he does great digitizing work. That's who I always send people to. Okay. Hi, Annette. Okay, we still have a lot of black satin stitching to go. I just went and checked the machine. I don't think y'all will be able to see too good, but we still have a good bit left. We've gotten all the outside, but it's going to go do all of these gray boxes in black satin stitching too. So it's almost done the shelf itself. We're not even halfway through our 30 minutes. So it's going to take a little while. Oh, I remember. We want to talk about the splitting design. Oh, Patty can attest to Sebastian. He has digitized for her before, and designs have turned out great. Yay. So for digitizing, just some tips for you. Whenever I pay to get something digitized, you want to be as specific as possible. Okay. So you can do something as simple as showing them a picture, and the picture can be a real life picture, but I think it's more helpful to show a more like clip art type picture, or a PNG or SVG file. Something like that is helpful. But the things that I always tell people is be exact with your dimensions, right? Because they can digitize it and offer it to you in several sizes. Just like when I buy an embroidery design online, it usually comes in several sizes. You don't want to just get them to digitize one size and then decide later, oh, I want to stitch this out a lot bigger and stretch it out in your program. It may or may not enlarge or shrink appropriately, depending on the design. So I always tell people, be specific with your sizes. Like most of the time, people are getting business logos digitized, right? Because they either have a friend, a family member, or a customer that wants items like shirts and hats and jackets with the business logo on it. So that's when you're like, okay, I know I want to do polo shirts with it and I want the design to be this big, but I also want to stitch hats with it. And even though the design may be the same size on the hat as it is on the upper left chest of the polo, tell the digitizer I need one specifically digitized for hats, because the way it stitches out is going to be different. And that with hat digitizing, it's the direction that matters. With a flat, like a shirt, anything that is flat, you can digitize going from left to right, no problem. On a hat, you want it to digitize from the center and then work its way out. So even though it's the same size, tell them I need it this size. I also need it this size for a hat. I want it a little bit bigger for a whole front shirt, or bigger for a back of a shirt, or towels, or, you know, whatever the case may be. Tell them all the sizes that you want. And if you want it for a hat, say it's for a hat. If you want certain kind of stitching, like certain effects on it, like 3D effects, if it's for foam, if you want to do 3D puff foam, tell them you want that, because that has to be digitized a certain way. So that's my biggest tip. If you're getting something digitized, be as specific as possible. Don't just send them a picture and be like, I need this. Tell them everything. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Oh, Dawn must have got it 2 years ago for her birthday. She made Candy Cane Lane as a gift for and finished it just in time. It was beautiful, and I look forward to getting it out every Christmas. You will love it. I'm so excited. I have been eyeing up. This was like the first Kimberbell project I really wanted to make. Like, I was like, I saw that one. I was like, okay, I'm not buying anything. I want that one. That's the one I'm going to buy. And then, you know, I bought everything else. I was like, wait for it to get on sale. And that's when I got it. Wait, I'm sorry. Michelle, maybe this website is not for me. What website are you talking about, Michelle? Let's see. Nice, Dawn. Let's see. Linda says, if you do a bench pillow for a friend and have to ship it, I advertise sending that size pillow via Prime, and therefore no shipping, and just you sending the outside pillow cover is cheaper. Great tip. Great tip. Yeah, I think when I ordered Candy Cane Lane from my girlfriend's quilt shop, I grabbed the actual pillow form from them while I was buying and getting things shipped. But yeah, I think it's also on Amazon Prime, and then it'll be free shipping. That's a great idea. Oh, yay. Okay, so Christine found somewhere that has the Candy Cane Lane embellishment kit in stock. $55. Whew. Supply and demand right there. So yeah, go grab it if you really want it. But I think we can find substitutions, definitely. And I have the embellishment kit because I got it on sale over the summer. So when we get to that sew along, what I'll do is I'll tell you everything that's in it, and I will send you links of replacements. And next time I go to Hobby Lobby, I'll go look in their button section and take pictures of what they have that might be a good substitution. Okay. Oh, I know. I wanted to teach you how to split this design if you wanted to split it. So first, let me go open up the double hooping instructions. It's this one. Okay, so that's going to be a separate PDF on your files, your digital files that they give you. Separate PDF for double hooping. All right, I opened it up on my computer. So y'all, let me move this over so I can get back here if I need to. Oops. Okay, so this is the instructions for the double hooping of the design we're doing now. If you are doing this in 2 5x7 hoops. Step number 1 is to do your background quilting on your large piece of background fabric first. And that you will see in next Tuesday's video, because we will do that for the quilt shop block. So I'm gonna wait on telling you about that. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna pre-quilt our fabric using the clear tile method before we do anything else. And then once we have that large piece of fabric quilted, then we will rehoop and line up for the double hooping of the applique. All right. So my big piece of black fabric and big piece of gray fabric that I had for the applique pieces, they're saying go ahead and cut those in half. And that is the background fabric. So once we've quilted the background fabric, they want us to fold it in half and then also fold the bottom where there is 1 inch from the bottom, and then fold that up. This process here is going to help you hoop it in place perfectly. Okay. So step number 1 is load the bottom half of the fabric shelves. Okay. And it is going, you've already got your background quilt fabric with the batting already quilted, ready to go, right? And this is when you fold it and iron it. On your hoop stabilizer, you're going to stitch a placement mark. And because you've ironed and folded your pre-quilted background fabric, you're going to put it right on the seam of this placement mark. And it has a little tick right in the middle showing you almost like an L where are we at? Here. So you see this little blue tick mark? And that's where you put your folded piece. And you got a bottom fold and a center fold. Once you've got that lined up, then you unfold it and tape it into place. And then it will do a basting box to hold your fabric in place. Okay? And then you go through kind of the same process. You're going to applique the background of the bookshelf. You're going to applique the gray bits. Then you're going to do all the little fill stitch of the books and elements. And then the last step is it's going to stitch some, where are we? I passed it up right here. These black little lines, it's going to stitch those placement marks for the next hooping. So you know where to line things up for the next one. Okay. Once this is done, you take it off the hoop and you remove that basting box stitch. So that's when it'll be helpful to do that water soluble thread there. Okay. Then you're going to load the top half of the design on your machine and get some flat back thumb tacks. I love their system for figuring out placement perfectly. We actually are going to stick thumbtacks through both our stabilizer and our piece that we already stitched right here that has the new placement marks on it. So the first part of stitching on the stabilizer is the same little placement marks it did on our previous hooping. And then from the bottom of your hoop, you're going to stick thumbtacks here and here in each one of those corners. And then you're going to lay your piece you just embroidered right on top of that and make the thumbtacks go right through the same little stitches on the last placement marks that it did. So you see it right here, like there's the thumbtack coming through, and then you lay the piece you did already and make the thumbtack come right through. And then you know you have it right where it should be. And then of course you tape it in place and remove the thumbtacks. And now it will do a new little basting stitch and it will do all the rest of the bookshelf. So this is the double hooping for the bookshelf. This is the double hooping for the quilt shop. We're going to do the same process for the quilt shop. We're going to pre-quilt all our fabric. We're going to end up folding it just like the other one, the center and then a bottom. And it's going to do a placement stitch here. We put our folded fabric there. Once we get it lined up perfectly, we unfold it, tape it in place. It's going to do all the same stuff. We do all the pieces. And then the last step is those little placement marks that we're going to use for the thumbtacks. And the next one, load the top half of the design, stitch out those placement lines on the stabilizer, and then do the thumbtack method to line up our fabric right in place. So now it adds on to the quilt shop and you can't even tell that the design was split. So I just wanted to show that to you. And in your design, so quilt designs, embroidery files, go to your folder, your format, quilt designs again. Up here, there is a folder for double hooping. And that's where you're going to find the 2 pieces of the fabric shelf and the 2 pieces of the quilt shop. And each of these will fit in a 5x7 hoop. So the only real tricky part is going to be when we're going to use like the clear blue tile method to pre-quilt our large piece of background fabric before we get to that part. So like, here's my quilt shop envelope. And here's my background fabric. So we're going to quilt all this. We're going to cut a big piece of batting and we're going to pre-quilt this before we even get to that stitching part of the applique and everything. And we will go over that next Tuesday, so a week from today. And so you can see that process step by step and how to use the thumbtack. I love the thumbtack method. The first time I tried to do this method though, I did not actually have any flat thumbtacks. So I tried just using some of my sewing pins. It works, but it's not a great. So I think I went and dug around downstairs. No. And then I found these kinds of thumbtacks that have like the little plastic push bit. These don't work because you're putting the thumbtack from underneath. You want something flat. So I'm pretty sure I went and bought some flat back thumbtacks. I don't know where I put them. I should find them before next week. All right. Let's see. Oh, Michelle. So your question was the website, which if it was good for you, the VIP membership group. Is it good for someone who has never done embroidery? I would say if you've never done embroidery before, the first class that I would join is my From Start to Stitch Beginner Machine Embroidery course. This is a full online course with, oh, I can't even remember how many lessons, over 50. I want to say like 57, 58 video lessons telling you everything that I wish that someone would have sat and held my hand and taught me when I got my first embroidery machine. This goes through all of the fundamentals of learning your machine and the techniques and the supplies and stabilizer and hooping and how to applique. I also have a little intro on how to use embroidery software. I go over all the different designs that are out there, where to buy these designs from, and then troubleshooting and maintenance of your machine. I think that's probably one of my, most important modules in there. It's like, okay, what happens when the thread breaks, the needle breaks, you got nesting, this gets messed up. All of my tips for working through those kinds of problems, because it never fails. Something always goes wrong. Almost every time I'm stitching, knock on fake wood. So definitely recommend you go look at that first. The VIP membership is just, it's a lot of fun, and we make a lot of projects and we go through it step by step. So even if you are a beginner, the VIP membership group is great because it's going to teach you all different kinds of techniques and in a step-by-step manner, and you get to collect all these embroidery designs and go and make those projects. But if you don't have the just the simple knowledge and fundamentals of using your machine and knowing about stabilizer and how to hoop things, I would go through that process first and then join the membership after. And I can show you, Michelle, I got a link for my course on my website. So let's go back to my website. Okay, so Carly Bell, you can visit my store. And these are all my membership and courses. So this is the membership group. This is a little mini course showing you how I organize my embroidery designs. This is from start to stitch. This is going to teach you everything you need to know about how to use an embroidery machine. And then this is my software course on how to use Embroidery Essentials. So once you learn your machine and you know a little bit about your software and you really want to dive into more, this is very detailed on how to use this particular program. But I do have an intro to that program here. So if you click on this, it's going to give you all of the info on this course. 9 modules. The lessons are pre-recorded. You could watch them anytime. We do have a live Q&A session every month for students where you can go and ask questions. If you can't attend the lives, they're always recorded, and you could submit questions ahead of time so that I could still answer your questions, and you could watch the replay after. You get lifetime access. And even though all the machine demo portions of the course are done on a Brother PE 800, all the material can be applied to any embroidery machine. And I say flatbed here, but I still have multi-needle students in my course. I have multi-needle machines myself. So when they come to the live Q&A sessions and they have questions, I can help them answer machine-specific questions. And let's see. So machine basics, supplies, stabilize and hoop, stitching and designs. These are the 9 different modules of the course. Supplies, stabilizer, how to hoop, and then we go through hooping specific items. Types of stitches and designs, how to applique, intro to embroidery software, and then maintenance and troubleshooting. There's several bonuses that come with the course, and so on. And then I have, this is the special price that's on my website, is $147. And sometimes I do have a sale on Facebook. So look out on Facebook. If you see an advertisement for this course, it will get you a sale price that's cheaper than this. Or you can just email me at hello@carlybell.com and I'll give you the sale price. And then these are frequently asked questions, and that's it. So I think that I made it so that it is specific to help someone brand new. Like literally, I want to hold your hand and guide you through the whole process. Hi, Jill. Let's see. Okay, Loretta's talking about pre-quilting the fabric. It's a little tricky if you don't have clear blue tiles, but you can use the plastic grid that comes with the hoops. Yeah. Another tip I have for you, Loretta, is we can print out the background quilting design and use that as our own little clear blue tile. So I'm going to show you that trick next week. Yay. And she's in the VIP group and is new and she says it's worth it. I'm so glad you like it. Yay. Patty says the same thing. Love it. Love it. I love the VIP group. It's going to be fun. I'm actually starting to work on our October project, which is going to be a super cute in the hoop ornament, like a vintage style ornament. We have a whole thing. We've talked about it with Susan, one of the members in our group. She had like an inspiration photo and she's like, I want to learn how to make this. And then of course we all went, oh, I want to learn how to make that too. So that's what we're doing. So it's fun. It's very interactive. If you can't make the live Zoom classes, they're always recorded. We have a pretty active Facebook group for VIP members. And then even for our friends that are not Facebook people, email. You can email me and ask me anything. I'm there for you. Guess what? We finally finished stitching all the black. It is done. Okay, next color. It is gray, silver. and it's the top of the shelf. Okay. I did that. All right, and then let me get my next color is white. Get that ready. So now we only have, with all the rest of the red color changes, each step is like either 1 minute, 2 minutes, or 3 minutes. So we got 17 minutes total left of stitching, and then we can trim. So what I need to do is find my giant orange pop ruler. So this is my big bag I got for myself as my birthday present earlier this year. And it stores all of my clear blue tiles, markers, books, and my orange pop rulers and quilting rulers. So the book says we need 6.5 by 8.5 and 8.5 by 10.5. I think that's the square. This one. Yeah. 8.5 by 10.5. I didn't put the little circle bits on the bottom of that one. Like these all have these grippies. I did not do that on this one. I wonder where did I put those grippy stickers? Look around. Let's see if I put it in one of these little holders. No, they're somewhere in here. I know we were talking about buying some, you could just buy like little grippy things to help. And it came with these little labels. I haven't put them on there yet, though. Okay, so that is the big one. And then I already had the medium size one. And so we're going to use both of these to trim this block when it's done. So put it here. And we're ready for a thread change, I think. Nope, we're not. Let's see. Yay, India said she just bought both of my embroidery classes and she is learning a lot. Yay, I'm so glad. And Debbie loves the VIP group. Thank you, Debbie. Hi, Jenny. Loretta says I'm a bad influence. She bought those rules. I'm sorry. So I've had people call me an instigator. I promise you, I also instigate myself. Y'all see all the crap I'm buying. I got the Quilting Through the Seasons. I got Candy Cane Lane. If I see a sale, it's very hard for me to pass it up. The orange pop rulers, and clear blue tiles, like I had on my want list for a long time, but I did really wait to buy them until I had a project that I was ready to use it for. For instance, the orange pop rulers, I did not get it until after I had already bought a quilt design from Kimberbell, and I tried trimming the blocks, and then I saw a video on orange pop rulers, and I was like, okay, this will really help me. They can be trimmed without them, but they are helpful. All right, white thread, couple quick steps with this. And then the clear blue tiles had on my list for the longest time, and then was finally like, let me wait until I have something. And sure enough, last year, right around this time, I have a nephew who's going to be one in December. Oh, we got to change the bobbin. So I'm going to hit cut. Take the hoop off. And yep, my bobbin thread is almost empty. And grab I like to use pre-wound bobbins. I get them from Amazon. I think the new Bro Thread brand. Love them. Okay, pull that through the thread path a good 8 to 12 inches so that you make sure the bobbin tension is set correctly. Put this back on, hit return, and I am going to back up a few stitches to make sure my threads get locked so that nothing comes undone. So I'm going to back up 20 stitches. Okay. All right, as I was saying, I have a nephew he's going to be 1 in December, and my sister-in-law was doing his nursery in Winnie the Pooh, and I found this adorable Winnie the Pooh panel. I am obsessed with quilting right now, as you can tell, but I never actually made a real quilt before, so I thought a good intro would be to buy a pre-made panel and just quilt it. And I quilted it using the embroidery machine. And so that's when I was like, okay, now I'm really going to buy the clear blue tiles. And I bought the big dime magnetic hoop for this machine. And I loved all of it. So I'm excited to continue using those things for future projects. Oh, I see like shredding or something happening. Let me hit cut. Yeah, I could see my thread is like almost about to break. It's gotten all fluffy. Okay. Probably got yeah, you see, I don't know if y'all could see that, but it's all nested. I don't know if that's the right word. Nested or shredded. I'll pull it through the thread path a little bit more. Get that fuzzy bit off. Oh, and it flew up into the thing. Wait. There we go. Okay, and it got all fuzzy over here, so I'm going to back up stitches again until I get a little bit before that fuzziness and just stitch right on top of it. And I'm going to pause because I got this tail here. I don't want it to get stitched on top of and look funny. Let's see. I think our next color after white is green. So I'm going to get that ready on my thread stand. I'm reading Linda's comment. She won some money on a sewing site. Yay, congratulations. And she got the rectangle orange pop. And she saw the blue bag. She is bad and just got the bundle for candy corn. I need to unretire. No, what you need to do is start selling some of the cute things you're making with your embroidery machine. That's how you fund your craft addiction. What I did when I got my first machine, once I felt comfortable using my machine, it took me, I say, a good year of stitching things from my girls and as presents for people. All I did was make a post on Facebook to my friends, not a public post or anything, just to my friends. And I was making my girls Mardi Gras shirts because I live in Southern Louisiana. And I posted a picture of the Mardi Gras shirts, and I said, anybody, so I'm doing embroidery now. I'm making my girls these shirts for Mardi Gras. Anybody want to order a shirt for them, for their kids or whatever? And the messages just started coming in. I think I only had like a couple people actually order the Mardi Gras shirt, but I had people sending me pictures of all kinds of stuff. Can you make this? What can you make this? Can you make this? Can you make this? So I just started taking orders, word of mouth, acquaintances, friends and family. And that helped at the time. You know, I had a little machine that wasn't super expensive, but that paid for my machine, all my supplies, and all the, you know, the next things that I wanted. And I just made one thing, you know, a day when I was like, after I put the kids to bed. You know, granted I was younger and a new mom at the time, but and I was working full time. But like after I put Abigail to bed, I would go in my my little craft space and I would make one thing before I went to bed. And that helped fund, that's what got all this started. So definitely helps with justifying buying a lot of the things you want to buy. And then we have friends that are watching and that are VIP members that do like craft shows. And they like our friend Joe, for instance, one of the last things we made, let me go get the little bag. One of the last things we made in our VIP membership group was this adorable little boxed corner makeup bag. And she's made a whole bunch of them now, and she's selling them at craft shows. Look, I still haven't given Ellie hers, but these little cute bags, we made this in our VIP group. We pre-quilted the fabric, which we're going to talk about next week. I had 2 bigger panels, and I did 2 hoopings of a 5x7 hoop per panel. And then we embroidered, personalized it with a name or a monogram. And then we sewed up the bag with a sewing machine. And I went over step by step how to do that. And they're lined on the inside. So these make great gifts, but also if you put something more generic on it, you could sell them at craft shows. Or you can take orders for personalized ones with names and monograms. That's cute. I like that big green swirl. I wonder if that's supposed to be like a jelly roll. That's cute. All right. Yay, Becky's going to join us for our next VIP Zoom. It's going to be on Tuesday, October 21st. That is when our next Zoom class is going to be. So I look forward to talking to you in there, Becky. Thank you, Sonia. Oops. Okay, I think that's the last of the green, and we actually go back to white now. Okay, and it's going to do a white detail on top of the green. And some other white details, books, I think, because like these little lines here are either stacks of books or stacks of fabric. I don't know what they're supposed to be. But we're going to do little bolts of fabric will go on top. Now I'm really asking myself, where did I put those flat backed thumbtacks? I really don't know where I put them. I gotta find them before next week. After this, we only have 3 more colors to stitch. And that is orange, purple, and then the goldy yellow color. I'm going to go ahead and put orange on there. Okay. Loading my orange thread. And then after orange is purple. Hi, Lori. How are you doing today? Something doesn't sound right. Thread don't look messed up. I hear that knocking noise we heard last time. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, we got a big nest going on here. And I am going to look in here and see if I have any debris. See if I can just do it without taking the whole needle plate off. Okay. redo my bobbin. And if it still does it, I will take the whole needle plate off and check things. And I'm going to try and cut all that out. Those aren't my good scissors. I need to use better scissors here. Those are my old ones I just use for thread changes at the machine. Okay. Let me go to the table because I'm going to get my lint roller. Because I've got all these little tiny pieces of thread now. I don't want those to fall down in the bobbin and cause more problems. And let's see. Since I cut all the back, this will probably just come right up. Yep. Okay, so like the underlay bit is there, but I cut away all the satin on the front. So I'm gonna go back and back it up to when it was just starting the satin and see. Oh, okay. See if I solved the problem or not. If not, like I said, I gotta take the needle plate off and see what got down in there. Okay, so back up right there. That looks good. About 30 stitches. I'm just gonna go back to the underlay. And that's not good because I see bobbin thread coming up. But I put the bobbin in right, didn't I? Okay. This is how you know your bobbin's in wrong. Do you see the white? It just started to do the satin stitch right there, and it's showing white. Yeah. Nope. That's clockwise. It needs to go counterclockwise. You see? So when you pull the thread, it should make your bobbin turn counter. That's what I did wrong. Okay. Back up again. I think I could just stitch on top of that instead of trying to cut those out again. So I'm just going to back up again. And see if it can cover up the white that I just pulled up. There we go. All better. It's funny how you learn noises. Like once you listen to your machine so much, you can hear when something goes wrong. Like I could just, it's weird how you just know, but it comes eventually, I promise. Okay, done with orange. Now purple. Second to last color here. And then move my yellow gold color. It's the last one. Go Plug my iron in. I'm going to press the block before we trim it. Okay, last color. And we are finally done with this block. I'm glad I only had this one scheduled today because I did not even realize how long that satin stitch was going to take us. I knew this was a bigger block, and when I first made the schedule, I wasn't sure which one I was going to split into 2 hooping. So I was like, let me just do each one by themselves. I'm glad we're only doing this one today. Okay, all done. Our fabric shelf block came out very cute. And now we just need to press it and trim it. So here's the block. And I'm going to take it out the hoop. All right, and if you do this block in a larger hoop, like we were talking about, if you have the same machine as me and you have the 9.5 by 14 hoop, or you have a machine with an 8 by 12 hoop, and you did that basting stitch with the water soluble thread, you can go ahead and dissolve that now by spraying it with a bunch of water. I skipped that step to make this fit in the 6 by 10 hoop. So now I'm just going to press it. There's no specialty fabrics or anything on here, so I can just press. I'm going to do the front and the back. Focusing more on those edges just to make sure everything's nice and flattened out before we trim. This is plugged in, yeah? Okay. I'm just making sure it's working. Yeah, I think it's finally to temperature now. It wasn't before. All right. Once this is nice and pressed, I do need to trim the stabilizer. So save all of this for my next hooping. or if you want to just keep moving, you can just pop this out and then rehoop it as close as you can right here, and then do your next thing, and then wait and trim all of this at the same time. Okay, let me go ahead and trim the rest of this. Okay. So now we are going to use orange pop rulers and a rotating cutting mat. Make sure I'll have nothing in the way. Okay. And this one's going to be a little trickier because number one, I didn't do a basting stitch. Basting stitch is typically your cut line, and that's why we need to remove it before we trim. But normally when I do that, I could still kind of see the puncture holes of where the basting stitch was, and that's what I kind of use more as a guide. If not, now we are eyeballing it, where the bigger guide is around 1/4 inch top and bottom. Of the guide, and then the smaller hoop is 1/4 inch from the sides, where you're looking at your batting placement line. So it's something like that. And let me check sometimes there's some other kind of marker that can help you. So it says visually center the design using both the 6.5 by 8.5 and the 8.5 by 10.5 nested together. Cut each block side out, shown in blue. So first you do the sides. Then remove the inner orange pop ruler, and then you cut the top and bottom, and then you still have to do some extra trimming when you're done. So there's no like extra little tip of getting things centered right. But this looks good to me. Maybe we can go over something like that. Okay. Once you get things lined up, so like we said, first we're going to do the sides. Now I'm going to turn all the way around. And do that side. Now carefully just take the inner one out and do the top and bottom. And this is still not perfect because there's a small little section here and here that didn't get cut. And that's when you just use a regular quilting ruler and kind of finish it. Which you can use a regular quilting ruler for this whole thing if you wanted to. Yeah, that takes a little bit more off. But that's it. And now we have our 6 by 10, which actually right now it's 6.5 by 10.5. And then once we sew it, it will be, the final size will be 6 by 10. And that is it for today. Unplug the iron before I forget. I hope y'all don't hear my dog is crying outside my door. He's like, that's it. I'm ready to go outside. I need you to finish. All right. So that is all for today. Let me check the comments, see if I missed anything. Let's see. I see Kim joined us. And let's see, 100 proof quilter, first time catching. Yay, thanks for joining us. So you are in the same boat as I think our friend, am I remembering right, Loretta, where her largest hoop size is 4 by 6, which is technically, I think, a repositionable hoop, but the normal hoop size for your machine is 4 by 4. Am I remembering that right? That is a little tricky with this quilt because this quilt is meant to be for 5 by 7 hoops or bigger, but there are some workarounds and we've played with it a little bit. Let's see. Just checking everything. Linda, I hope everyone is okay. I think someone has to have surgery. I'll keep y'all in my prayers. Let's see. All right, yes, so Loretta is our 4 by 4 hoop friend. Thank you, Sherry. Okay, so that is it for today. So 100 proof quilter, I'm sorry you got here at the end, but don't worry, it's all recorded. You can go back and watch it from the beginning. And actually, this is our 8th class in this series. So directly below the video is a link to my website that is the homepage for this sew along. It will show you everything you need to know, including links to all of the other previous videos that we've done. And we will be back on this Thursday, October 2nd at 10:30 a.m. Yes. And we're going to be doing 2 blocks, the sit and stitch block, which is like a pretty cute old sofa, and the dress form block, which there are 2 of those in the quilt. So we'll stitch one live and then the other one will be your homework. But that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this class, and remember, if you have a smaller hoop, we're going to go over the split design next Tuesday when we do the extra large quilt shop block. All right. So I hope y'all all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you back here on Thursday. If you are a member in my course that I was showing y'all earlier, From Start to Stitch, we are having our live Q&A tomorrow at 10:30. And I hope it all works out, but I did get a notification from my energy company today saying they are turning the power off at my house at 9 o'clock tomorrow. So I'm hoping that we have a backup generator, but I'm nervous about messing with it all by myself because my husband will be at work. So we'll see. But the plan is to have a live Q&A at 10:30 tomorrow for my From Start to Stitch students. I'm thinking worst case scenario, if the power is off, I will go take a ride to like Starbucks or somewhere that has power and internet and do the Q&A session from there. If not, we'll postpone it maybe to Thursday after our Candy Corn Quilt Shoppe stuff. So stay tuned for that. I'm hoping it all works out. Fingers crossed. But that's it for today. I will definitely be back Thursday. The power should be on Thursday. And we will do the next couple blocks in our sew along. And next week I need to do homework. I'm going to stitch. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.